Hey guys, I'm Rhett with Section 8 Real Estate Investing. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave your questions and comments below. They really are important. And as a matter of fact, one of our subscribers, Andrew, actually brought this up and I wanted to make a video about it. And it's the importance of mold, okay? Now, some of you investors know when you're walking through a house that you want to rehab, right? Especially for a buy and hold, to put a tenant in. Sometimes you see mold, right? Now, down in Birmingham, Alabama, where I have a lot of properties, it's incredibly humid. Down here right now in Nashville, where I'm making this video, it's really humid in the summer, right? A lot of rain in the spring, a lot of heat in the summer. Not a good mixture, especially when buying vacant and abandoned property, okay? But that's, that can be said for a lot of places in the country, okay? So when you see mold, what do you do? And is it worth it? Is it worth buying a property with mold? Well, that's a two-sided sword, okay? And I say that because you can buy anything as long as you remedy it the right way, okay? You can buy a home with asbestos, and I don't recommend it, but if you get the asbestos taken care of correctly, you can remedy that, right? You can buy a property that has significant smoke and fire damage. I don't recommend that, but you can remedy that as well. Mold is just like that, okay? It can be incredibly dangerous, but if you remedy it the right way, you can take care of it. Now, when you buy a home to have a renter in it, and you expect a renter to be there for a long time, you guys have seen other videos, right, on the channel, making sure that you take care of the tenant is one of your main objectives, right? And how do we do that? Well, we make sure we take care of things the right way. We do the right thing, like we've talked about in other videos. And when it comes to mold, it's a little bit beyond that because you're dealing with something here that can actually kill your tenants. It can cause cancer, it can cause incredible sickness, and it can cause death. So this is something I take incredibly seriously. Now, we talked a little bit about what can cause it. Humid areas, right? If you're buying a home that has that's been exposed to the elements, maybe an open window, maybe it has a broken door, it's got a bad roof, it has water coming in, it's got a bad leak, maybe it had a pipe break in the basement, it had a fire, so the fire department sprayed it down with water from the hose, okay? It sat over the summer. Or even if it didn't sit over the summer, mold can grow, right? Moisture creates mold. Moisture, the absence of sunlight, the right temperature, okay? The amount of water vapor in the air, the humidity, like we talked about, are all huge proponents of mold. Now, mold can form under other circumstances, but that's the most common we see is black mold created from humidity and water in homes. Okay, now it's incredibly important that when you see mold, you don't just paint over it. That's not how you get rid of mold, okay? It's incredibly important that you call a restoration company that specializes in mold. What we don't want is you going into that property and scraping the mold off the wall and inhaling all of those incredibly toxic fumes and spores from the mold. That's, we don't want you getting sick either. We don't want your tenants getting sick. We don't want you getting sick. So if you decide to buy a property that has mold, you need to make sure you call a restoration company, pay the professionals to get it done. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to deal with paying a professional company to get it done, do not buy the house in the first place, okay? Liability, let's talk about that a little bit. Guys, there's always the chance that you have a tenant move into a property, maybe you don't know there's mold in there, or maybe you did know and you tried to cheap out on it and just throw some paint over that mold and your tenants get sick. You're on the hook for that, okay? That's why it's just not worth it, It's not worth paying a restoration company to come in and fix it, right? It's not worth, you might as well just pay them because you don't want to pay the hundreds of thousands of dollars in a wrongful death suit, 10 years, 15 years down the line for negligence, for not taking care of mold the right way in the basement of a rental property you bought, 15 years ago. It's just not worth it, okay? Like we've talked about, guys, it's about making money, right? It's about good investments. But at the end of the day, you're in the business of people. You're in the business of human beings. And when you're in the business of human beings, you have to make sure that their best interest, takes priority. And spending a little bit of extra money up front to make sure that these people have a long, healthy life, right? You want them to be in this unit for a long time. You want them to take care of it. You want them to feel safe. You don't want people to feel nervous or scared. And if you do all the things that we've talked about, right? Put new roofs on places. Make sure there is no water damage existing in the properties when you buy it. If there is, rehab it, fix it. Make sure that you're staying away from properties that have, broken open doors, that have been subjected to the elements for a year, right? 2 years. I see investors all the time that buy property that, has an open door in the back, that's been subjected to the elements for over a year, right? That's a winter, that's a summer, that's crazy heat swings and temperature swings and moisture, humidity swings. And at the end of the day, guys, don't forget these houses are made of wood, right? And wood is not, it's not the most strong product out there, right? These houses aren't made of steel. They're wood. They are not good with humidity. It is not good with moisture. And one of the things that can happen, aside from just, significant rot, is mold. And a lot of times rot and mold go hand in hand because they're both caused by moisture. So guys, just make sure if there is mold, you take care of it the right way. And if it scares you and there's a lot of it, stay away from it because it ain't worth the liability. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Leave your questions and comments below and we'll see you next time.